that we have for people that are 18 to 35 years old. We have over 54,000 people on that Facebook page. So I remember, yeah. I remember 4 years ago when we first started the Start Facebook page. I think there was about six members in the group. So we've certainly come a long way, but it really, it didn't happen overnight. When I first kind of started in Isagenix, my passion really got kindled for the young generation when I started building a business in college. This is, kind of years before, or in the years before, I was actually reluctant because I was a little bit rebellious and stubborn, and I was kind of trying to find my own way. But my parents kind of wised me up one day and said, if you want to ever join us later on in your life in Isagenix, you have to build a business first. You have to know what an associate goes through. You got to be in the trenches. You have to know what it takes to put on an event. You have to know what it takes to handle rejection. You got to know what it takes to build a team. And so I did that the last 2.5 years of school, and that's when my passion really got lit for young people, because I saw that when going through school and a lot of young professionals, it's certainly probably one of the most fun times of your life, but it's without a doubt the most toxic. And so I quickly learned that toxic lifestyle didn't equate to the body that I wanted. And so I saw the need for, young professionals to start taking the Isagenix products. And then I also saw many of my friends in school, getting out of school, drowning in student loan debt, struggling to find jobs. And so the need was always there. And so when I kind of joined on the corporate side about 6 years ago, if there's one thing that I ever felt like I was kind of called to do is to just help attract more young people into Isagenix. And so we started with a little Facebook page, again, with about 6 members, basically just telling people, hey, if you're looking to start your life, whether it be you're making your own decisions, start your ideal body, start making money, this vehicle of Isagenix can allow you to start and can really be a vehicle for you to go out, pursue whatever you want in your life. And so at the end of the first year, we had about 1,700 members in the Facebook group, which was a lot, but it wasn't, it's not like, that was after a year's time. And so it didn't totally happen overnight. At the end of the second year, we had about 7,000 people on that Facebook page between 18 and 35 years old. And now it's been just over 4 years now. And we've got over 54,000 people on that Facebook page that are collaborating every single day, posting their successes, challenges they're having, building relationships every day. The relationships that are built on that Facebook page are so rich, and just young people empowering other young people. And to me, my dad kind of mentioned, Isagenix is a legacy company that's going to continue to impact the world for generations to come. And in order to be a legacy company, you have to inspire and ignite the next generation, our generation. And so to me, that's what this movement, this Start Your Life movement, that's what this represents. It's really the legacy in action of Isagenix. And it's become the fastest growing demographic in Isagenix. And, you come to our events now and it's just flooded with young, passionate, entrepreneurial people that really have their head on straight, though. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud about is that, you look around, you come to a start party or you start meeting some of the people, the young people in Isagenix, they've got their priorities straight. This isn't, a bunch of young, irresponsible, immature kids. This is a group of mature people who want to really take their life to the next level. And the underlying theme to all of it is contribution. And that's what's in our vision statement amongst the Start group, to ignite all young people to own their lives physically and financially, and through our contributions create freedom and a lasting legacy. And that vision has become a magnet for so many young people across the globe. And again, it's all about contribution. It's all about giving back. It's all about, it's great to, you want to get healthy, you want to start earning the income, but what are you really doing with that income to go make a difference? And that's where the shift is happening. A lot of companies in our space, and this is what really upsets me is, they'll kind of lure young people with flashy cars and nice fancy watches and nice suits. And it works. I mean, it works initially to attract young people. But then young people find out that materialistic stuff doesn't fill you up. It doesn't get you excited. A nice car is only great for, a week or two. And it doesn't make you happy. But contribution, that's the thing that really fills people up. And, and that fulfillment meter just keeps going up and up and up. And that's what makes this movement sustainable over time for generations to come. So I'm really excited to see what's happened. And but again, it wouldn't have happened without all of you, especially right there in Utah. I mean, that was where our foundational leadership happened in Isagenix back in 2002. And so we're just so, just know that the whole START movement, ages under 35, are so grateful for those of you who were willing to go first, who were willing to join Isagenix when we had great products, but they didn't taste that good. We had a single white instruction sheet. We had no tools. You guys got excited about a $10 PIB, and so in a little brown box, and so that there's no substitute for that passion. So this movement of young people wouldn't be possible without so many of you in that room today.
Thank you so much, Erik. We have a question from Gilbert. Let me read that. She'd like you to talk about the START group a little. Well, you already kind of have, but how can us older people, over the age of 30, older than 35, relate with the START group members to bring them in? So I think I kind of put that as your title. How do we speak your language? How do we involve you and get you excited to come with this older person into the group? And I wasn't saying that I'm older. I fucked up some other. The other people older, she's not in that category.
Well, I think that I get that question all the time, and I think that if you're over 35, or if you're looking to attract more young people into Isagenix, don't feel like you have to act like a young person or speak like a young person or speak our lingo, because ultimately that's not authentic. And authenticity is what always shines through when talking to young people. And I think that's really the thing that has attracted so many young people to Isagenix, is what we have is so real. It's not BS. It's not built on smoke and mirrors. And, our generation, with technology and instant access to the internet, we can get answers immediately within seconds. Sensitive BS meter. And so that's why I think we've been successful in attracting young people, because we're no BS, we're authentic, and that's what always shines through. What we have is so real. And so if you're, not in the START demographic and you're talking to young people, again, don't feel like you have to, speak our lingo and do that, but use the tools as a way to be an avenue for you to show somebody young what we have going. That's why we built startyourlife.com. I mean, startyourlife.com is not just for 18 to 35. I mean, if anything, it's for over 35 demographic, for people who struggle to relate to the young people, that you all can really use that website as a tool to speak to the young people that you're talking to. So, but I think the key is about getting excited when you're talking to young people. Just start talking about, hey, I so admire that you're, a young, ambitious person. I'm actually involved in this great company where there's so many young people just like you that are passionate and motivated, that are getting so fired up and inspired every single day. When do you have, 20, 30 minutes to go through some things with me and I can kind of show you all these young people that are taking ownership of their life physically and financially. So right there, you're not, sounding like a young person. All you're just doing is saying, hey, I understand that I'm not in your age demographic, but I am affiliated with a company that is doing some awesome things for young people. We got a product line that works for young people. We got a business opportunity that works for young people. We got an uplifting culture that inspires young people to be better and take ownership of their life and responsibility for life, and be in that positive community. You're letting, people know about that because that's the truth. You're not trying to sound young, but then you're just simply going to send them. But here's the thing, before you send them to startyourlife.com, you have to be familiar with the website. So you have to, I would encourage every single person to go on to startyourlife.com and just don't go, click startyourlife.com and say, okay, I've been there, I get it. Really go through the videos, watch all the videos. I mean, I encourage everybody to click on the Your Team section, and there's literally about 20 YouTube videos there that are about 3 minutes long that are stories of young people that are in our age demographic. Again, they're 3 minutes or less. So go through and watch all the videos and start making a list of young people that as you watch the videos. That, you could be watching Jason Liu's video on there, and you could think of somebody that just like him, that really needs to see that message. Write that name down. Then you could go to Mara Pamana's video, watch that video, and you could think of somebody who's a real energetic fireball that that really needs to see that video. Write that name down. So again, use it as a tool to start thinking of people that that need to hear the messages. That way, when you're out talking to people, when you're talking to people, you can then send them to the right video. And again, I know my mom talked about using the tools, setting the appointment. It's the same process, but that's what that website is really for. Plug them into the Facebook page. Young people want to know that other young people are involved, in it with them. It was hard in the beginning to attract young people because we only had 6 people in the group. It wasn't much to show. We got 54,000 people in that group right now. So add people to the group, and so they can see all the positivity and the results that are being produced by Isagenix in young people. So I think really, really using the tools. And then the other thing that really resonates with young people, in my opinion, is passion. When you're out talking to people, you got to be excited. You got to be passionate. Otherwise, if you're not excited, the people that you're talking to aren't going to be excited, especially young people. So many times when people get into Isagenix, they think they have to know exactly, the right thing to say and be so articulate. And, they're just kind of getting ready to get ready. But if you just go out and speak with some conviction and you get passionate, and speaking with conviction doesn't have to be a huge, big personality. I mean, you could be a really soft-spoken person, but you so deeply believe in what you're doing, and you're speaking with passion and commitment. Young people want to be a part of something that is exciting, that the person they're speaking with is fired up about and excited. Young people want to follow certainty. We want to follow conviction. And the only way that you build passion, conviction, and I know the question was kind of brought up, how do you, when we're having those down moments, how do you kind of get back up? For me, whenever I'm feeling down, it's always because I'm not in action. When I have my most exciting, fulfilling days or weeks or months, it's always when I'm most productive and when I'm in action. When I'm not in action, when I'm procrastinating, when I'm getting lazy, that's when all that doubt, uncertainty, insecurity, all that stuff starts to creep in. But as soon as you start to get into action, as soon as you start to go talk to people, you start plugging into a podcast, you start, doing the main thing, then all that doubt, insecurity, negativity just kind of starts to go away. And so, but the only way that, we all learn this business is through action. Confidence doesn't come from, we can't think our way to confidence. We can only act our way to confidence. That's the key.
Awesome. Oh, that was great. I want to talk a little bit about a Zoom call. Do you do a Zoom call that we could begin and not tell anybody that we're there?
Well, we do. And again, this is stuff that you can plug in for any age demographic can plug into anything start. except the Facebook page, because that's just because, if we were to add every single age demographic to the Facebook page, then it would just be another Facebook page. So that's, what's kind of kept it, exclusive, is just having that 18 to 35 demographic. That's what has kept it special. But, startyourlife.com, we have start talks that happen every single month that are on the first Monday of every month. You just go to isagenixlive.com on the first Monday of every single month, and we have a Start Ambassador that does a live Google Hangout training for about 45 minutes to an hour. And you're just being trained, you or your young team members are being trained by Start Ambassadors. So those are our Start Talks, and all of those Start Talks are recorded and are housed at isagenixlive.com/start. isagenixlive.com/start. If you go to that website, literally, you'll be able to see all the Start Talks that have happened, and it's just like free training from young people that are live Google Hangouts. They're so interactive, they're so fun, and you get your questions answered. They're really, really good. We got the Start Your Life magazine, but I think this technology right here, Zoom, is incredible. So I know a lot of young people have done like a weekly Zoom call where they'll get somebody young on the call to just kind of share their story, and they'll flood young people into that call who are looking at Isagenix for the first time. That works really well. But again, we have all those resources on startyourlife.com under the Your Team section with the YouTube videos, and then we have podcasts that you can listen to. If you go to startyourlife.com, click on tools, there's literally dozens of podcasts that are young people sharing their story, how Isagenix has been a vehicle for them and empowered them to do better things. I mean, PETA has a podcast on startyourlife.com that's got like over 35,000 listens to it because it's so good, it's so powerful. I mean, if you put a young person on that podcast, it's like 22 minutes long, and it's recorded right there on startyourlife.com. If they listen to it, and if they're not excited after that podcast, then you may have to check their pulse, because it is like the greatest tool ever. Again, it's got 35,000 listens. So, but you go listen to it yourself first, let it get you fired up, and then start thinking of people who that need to hear that call. Again, don't count on yourself to go cast the vision for young people if you're not young. Use those podcasts and those tools from young people to cast the vision for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Erik. We've got this amazing techo guy here in your start group. He's really, he's taught us how to do Zoom this weekend, and we're feeling pretty confident right now. But
President Carter, there he is.
President Carter.
Hi, everyone. I just want to know, Erik, where are we partying in Vegas for the start party? You can't tell it, but
no, it's actually out there. If you go to it's in the Start Your Life magazine. We wanted to see how many people actually went through the pages of the Start Your Life magazine, because it's in there. It's the bit. It's in there, but it's going to be at the Omnia nightclub in Vegas. It's going to be just epic. It'll be great. So you got to be executive though. You got to get to executive to get in.
And is it only start, or if you have a start as an executive, are the older folks invited?
The start party is just for start, but I know that there's lots of groups that I've heard. The Start Over group, I've heard Restart, I've heard all sorts of stuff. The coolest thing I've seen is like the 12 years old to 17 years old group. They're now calling themselves Head Start, forming a whole coalition. So
what did you call that?
Head Start.
Yeah, I know. We brought our kids to our trade shows. Probably one of my biggest builders, my 10-year-old son went over to a woman that was had a booth by us, and he looked at her and he said, "Hey, you want to lose some weight? You probably like to go talk to my mom." So we invited her to get a little bit trimmed by talking to mom. She was actually one of our biggest builders in Idaho. So these kids, they get it. They get it. So
they get it. They got no fear.
about your rebellion a little bit, getting in and coming in slow and all of that. We've heard that Travis Garza had a big impact on you. Talk a little bit about that. Travis just left. We were so blessed. He was here skiing with his family, and we snatched him away for a few hours, and he taught us so much. It was wonderful. So tell us a little bit about that relationship, and he's kind of, he's the VP over marketing and sales and whatnot. How to build confidence in him. If you want to go ahead and talk about him for a minute.
Yeah, well, Travis is, we call him Mr. Wonderful, and he lives up to that. I mean, he's, I've been so fortunate to have so many great mentors in my life, starting with my parents and, David Wood, he's another big mentor of mine. And of course, Travis. I mean, I get to work alongside with Travis every single day. And there's just, he's the first guy into the office every morning. He's the last guy to leave. He's the hardest working guy, in the company. He just never stops. And, he just pours his heart and soul into this company. And he's the wisdom that he has, the energy that he has, and the belief that he has in what we're doing is, I know inspires me every single day. And, I think that the original kind of what you're kind of talking about, as I mentioned, I was always rebellious kind of growing up. And, the stories are true when I used to bring home products from other companies when my poor parents were starting Isagenix. And then I entered college, started taking the products, then started doing the business. But, I was always put a big weight on my shoulders because I knew that if I ever stepped full force into Isagenix, I put a lot of pressure on myself because I knew my parents were incredible people that were making such an impact in the world. And I just, I think we can all agree those are very big shoes to fill. And so I always thought that, I had to speak like them, act like them, but the more I got immersed into Isagenix, the more I realized that I could just kind of be my authentic self. And I met Travis, and this was kind of before Isagenix. I was pursuing a career in professional golf, and that was always my dream to play on the PGA Tour. I earned a golf scholarship in college to Arizona State University, and that was my dream. But at the tail end of, but right before I graduated, I kind of knew in the back of my mind that golf wasn't going to be my path. I just started getting really burnt out. And again, I was kind of reluctant to get into Isagenix because I didn't know if I was ready for the responsibility. And if I didn't, to be frank, I didn't know if I was good enough. I always had that conversation, my noise in my head. And Travis, I met him at an event about 6.5 years ago. I think it was our New Year kickoff event. Back then it was called Top Achievers. And I was sitting in the front row, and like previous events I had been to, I was watching my parents, just thinking to myself, there is no way I could ever do that on stage. I could never, I just don't know how they do it. And I watched so many, great speakers go across the stage. And then I went backstage and I met Travis, and we just really connected. I started talking to him about golf and, some of my passions. And, he started telling me about, how long he'd been with Isagenix. At the time, he'd only been in Isagenix for about 6 or 7 months. I think he was just kind of starting. And then, so we had a great chat. And then he sent me an email about a week later. He sent me an email and just said, hey, Erik, I see a lot of potential in you. I think you'd be a great addition to the team here at corporate. I think you could add a lot to the table, and I think we could really have a lot of fun together. And I just see a lot of greatness in you and a lot of potential in you. And he sent me that email, and literally probably 30 minutes later, I was on the phone with my parents saying, I'm in. I'm jumping in with both feet. I'm so committed, and this is what I'm going to do. But I just needed that third-party validation for some reason. I mean, again, my parents have been doing this for a solid 8 years, and I'd watched them, and they never pushed it on me ever. But I'd watched them, but it was that third party, Travis, coming in and just seeing something in me. And that was kind of when the light bulb went on, called my parents. And, I think 2 weeks later I was working at the office. And so, so Travis and ever since, that was about 6 years ago. And so ever since that moment, I've worked side by side with Travis and I continue to learn so much from him every single day. And he's just such a amazing reflection of what our culture is about, and just the kind of people that we're attracting.
Well, thank you. Is it true that you sold peanuts at the baseball game?
It is. Yeah, I told that story at the last celebration. Along with, I worked the business in college, the Isagenix business, but before I did that, because I was rebellious, and because, partly because I wanted to really make my own way. I wanted to make my own decisions. I always knew Isagenix was kind of my parents' thing. And I think that's why I held on to golf for so long. I wanted that to be my thing. And then I wanted to start earning income. And so I actually looked at the kind of the classified section of the student Arizona State newspaper. And it's the thing that I read on the paper that got my attention was looking for sports-minded individuals that are hungry. And so, that just spoke to me, because I was an athlete. I was playing golf. I was like, I'm sports-minded. I'm hungry. And so I called the ad, and then I went in for an interview, and it was literally the easiest interview I'd ever done. And it was like a 10-minute interview. They're like, yeah, you can start next week. And I didn't really even know what I was applying for. I showed up the next week, and we all of a sudden we hopped in this white kind of shady van, and then the person who was training me was like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go knock on these people's doors, and we're going to sell them oil change packages. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just signed up for a door-to-door sales job. And so, and I literally spent the entire summer, about 4 months, selling oil change packages door to door in about 118-degree heat in the summers of Arizona. And it was one of the greatest things that I ever did in my life. It taught me so much about people, taught me certainly how to handle rejection. I mean, I remember getting chased down the street, getting cussed out down the street by people, and you just learn to laugh at that sort of stuff. And it really allowed me to learn, not to attach myself to any outcome. You never know what people on the other side of that door, you never know what kind of day they've had. You never know what they're going through in their life. And so, you knock on enough doors, eventually you're going to knock on some people that, are interested in what you're doing. It's the same thing with Isagenix. You talk to enough people and you cast a vision with, certainty and passion and authenticity. Eventually your message is going to land on the right people, and people that really believe in what you believe in. And so that was kind of the door-to-door sales job that taught me a lot. And then at the same time, I signed up to be a candy vendor at Arizona Diamondbacks games. So I was the guy running up and down the aisles, shouting, get your red hot, get your red hots here, get them while they're hot. I had that down. And the key with that with that job was the look on kids' faces when the candy guy comes up and down the aisle. I mean, you just see all the kids just mesmerized. And so, but again, that was another interesting job. But again, it just taught me a lot about myself, allowed me to embrace the voices in my head that we all have. And so all growing and learning experiences.
Thank you so much. We're going to just take a little, what people have a little debrief, I guess I call it. So like a takeaway, I guess they would call it. So you guys want to take a second? We're going to take 1 minute, talk to your neighbor, and see, 3 takeaways that you've gotten so far from the Masters, Erik Coover. So we're going to do like a 30-second. Look up with your partner real quick and give takeaways. And then member volunteers, they get a free membership. So thank you, Dad. This is great. So we're going to take a second, and then I am going to ask you how you got your nickname, Zumba.
What's that?
I'm going to ask you how you got your nickname, Zumba.
What's my nickname?
Zumba, C-U-M-B-A.
Zumba. I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
Yeah, I was talking with Anna, and I said, you and Peter are like Princess Di, and Prince Wow. She said that she was Zoom class.
Oh,
Going after
jeez.
that, electric characters.
Oh,
So
God.
maybe she's doing all that behind your back.
Yeah, she probably is. Anna, you gotta love Anna. She keeps my life together. She's the best.
Yeah, she's great. So, and then are we okay bringing up the date next week that you can come in the fall so we can advertise?
Yeah, just keep working with Anna. I haven't had a chance to connect with her. I'm getting ready to go to Australia here tomorrow night for a couple weeks for their event over there. But we'll certainly figure something out. What works better, a Saturday or like a night event, like a weeknight event?
We do like probably a Saturday. We get the most done on Saturday. We maybe fly you in on a Friday and then do an off meeting and then have you do a lot of the training on Saturday.
Okay.
Is that I can sleep over okay?
Cool, yeah.
Do you ever bring Tina with you? Did we bring Tina with you?
She definitely comes to some of the events, and she's so if any of you are following her on Facebook and the other social media channels, she's really investing a lot of time into something she's starting up, which gives me goosebumps to think about the impact that it's going to have over the next few years. So she's really focused on a lot of that stuff. So she hasn't been doing a lot of traveling for Isagenix events because she's really focusing in on some exciting stuff that I know all of you can plug into and tap into that's going to make a big impact.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna hand up. I have takeaways. Okay, we got some takeaways here. Okay, I'm Brittany Watson, Roy Utah.
Hey, Brittany.
And my takeaway was when you're feeling down, it's because you're not in action. So get in action.
Get in action. That's the key. That's always the key.
Know who you are.
Celia from St. George's, huh? Speak to young people with conviction, passion, and commitment. I love this. I also love you that young people can have a shady meter, meaning they can read you when you're shady. I love the shade feel.
Well, yeah, and the key with connecting with anybody, especially young people. I mean, a lot of times we're network market, like people start getting into this weird network marketing thing, and the key is just like my number one tip for connecting is don't be weird. Don't be that weird person that's like calculating what they're going to say before, and you're not even listening to the person that you're talking to, and you're like all of a sudden you're just being weird. Like, don't just connect like a human being. And just if Isagenix comes up, great. But if it doesn't, awesome. Then you just had a great, meaningful connection with somebody. Like don't attach yourself to the outcome of what happens. Just have conversations with people and listen.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Where do I go? So right there.
You guys, while this is happening, we're going to have you stand around. I want to make sure we've got everybody's name, everybody's check, everybody's phone number to keep you plugged in. Okay, and then the option of David Wood's event. Eric, David Wood has invited us all to Canada for his Train the Trainer event. Can you put a plug in for that?
Well, all I can say is David Wood has transformed my life. His events have changed everything for me. I went to an event 6 years ago called Good to Great that completely changed my life. It's a full immersion. All of his programs are so impactful because you do the skills. I mean, you get into action and you do it. And again, there's no better way to build confidence than to act your way to confidence. And that's what his events allow you to do. And he provides such a safe space for people. And if you're looking to just connect more authentically, if you're looking to speak in front of people and be more powerful in front of the room, David Wood is, in my opinion, the greatest personal development, bringing the best out of people trainer on the planet. And so he's also, one of my closest friends, and he's just an amazing guy. So you just take the time to go to his events because they are so worth it.
Okay. Hi, Eric. This is Kelly Parker from Draper, Utah.
How's it going?
And you just said what I was going to say, and I love what you said was that you have to actuate something. That's perfect. That's my takeaway.
Awesome. Hey, Barbara.
And I appreciate you so much because I am one of the older ones. I'm in Jimmy's group, age group. And it doesn't matter your age, but we have to have passion and confidence and be authentic. And I want to actually help this start group and get some people going in our area.
Good.
And I really want to tell you how much I appreciate both you and your parents. We love you so much. Barbara's one of our millionaires.
I know. We love you, Barbara. All you got to do is be yourself, be your authentic self, and you'll attract young people.
How do we mentor you guys? When we bring them in, how do you want us to mentor? Just send your Facebook group.
Yeah, that's what you do. You obviously you want to support them, but plug them into the Facebook page. Once you've got somebody that's young, that's fired up, that sees the opportunity or just wants to take the products, whatever, plug them into the Facebook group. That's where they get mentored. I mean, that's the magic sauce. And a lot of people ask me, why did we make the start demographic 18 to 35 and not 18 to 30? I mean, I hope people realize that 30 to 35 demographic, how many incredible 30 to 35-year-olds that are in start right now. I mean, that do such an incredible job every single day of mentoring that 18 to 25 demographic in Isagenix. I mean, I think about Lori and Chris Harder. I think about Sean Escobar. I think about Kelly and Tyler Dickerhoof, Emily and Hayden Bavra. I could go on and on and on and on about the specialness of that kind of 30 to 35 demographic that has mentored so many of these young people coming up. So allow the tools in the Facebook group to do a lot of the mentoring.
So how do they do that? If we're not a start, how do we invite them to that group?
All you have to do is go to startyourlife.com, and there's a Facebook icon at the top right of the screen. If you click the Facebook icon, it sends people straight into the group, and they just add themselves to the group.
Great, thank you. Okay, any more takeaways? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Go Utah!
Go Utah! Cindy. Okay, thanks, Cindy.
Hey, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Wait 1 second. We've got one more question. You have time for one more question. One question. It's like I have a lot of people in the 20 to 25-year-old, and $300, $500 for the product just freaks them out. What do? You tell them that's a big expense in their life. How do you get them on the product, or how do you help them? But they don't have enough money.
Well, I think that the thing that just when I hear that, the thing that I know kind of screams in my head, if somebody was saying, I cannot afford this, I don't have the money to afford this, that's the biggest reason in the world to start talking to them about the business and show them how to get their products paid for. I mean, that right there is an immediate lead in right into the business, talking about, I totally know how you feel. Would you be open to for me to show you exactly how you can get your products paid for, like in your first 2 weeks, so that you can start actually earning some additional income so that you can afford the products? I think that's a great lead in with the business. The other thing is that sometimes when people say they can't afford the product, a lot of times it means that they're not quite seeing the value in what you're presenting to them yet. And so kind of really start to dig deeper about why do they need to take the products? Get to the core of why they really want to take the products. Do they want to lose 20, 30 pounds. Why do they want to lose 20, 30 pounds? Why do they, want more energy? Why do they want to sleep better through the night? Start digging deep. Don't just let them get away with, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, that's great. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Well, I want to feel better. Well, why do you want to feel better? Well, I just want to, have enough confidence to, feel good about myself every single day when I go out into the world. Boom. That's their why. Well, okay, well, how much would you be willing to pay every single month to have so much confidence to go out into the world every single day with just passion and conviction and start really believing in yourself? Quickly right there, people would be like, well, I'd pay anything for that. So, really start digging deep on why people want to get started. And if they're really struggling for, income or for money to pay for the products, then, get them on, you don't have to start them with a $300 pack. If you get them started with we have a shake and shot pack that I think is about $198 that we specifically designed for kind of that 18 to 25 demographic, that gets them a couple boxes of shake, some e-shots, and a box of bars. What do young people need? They need healthy meals, and they need more energy, and they need something on the go, quick, convenient, that they can take anywhere. So the shake and shot pack is really good too.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody else forget it.
See you. Bye, Utah. Thanks so much, Cindy.
Yeah, we'll see you in the fall.
Okay.
We love you. Thank you.
Love you guys.